For a while, Melody prepared dinner for everyone, which smelled fantastic to Talion. Even Salus found his mouth watering a bit as he smelled the steaks cooking and hearing the sizzle in the distance. All the while, the group joyously exchanged stories. Rico talking about her first use of the amplified version of her ability to eat demonic energy, and the flying that was a result of it. Melody, of course, found this story both astonishing and hilarious, unable to stop herself from chuckling at Rico's fear of flying. They discussed many of the other facets of the training that took place the day, and eventually got around to discussing what Melody and Vera had been doing, which was mostly working on spells together. They didn't want to fall behind and become the weak ones in the group. So, whilst Talion, Salus, and Rico were out training, they were studying magic, learning new offensive and defensive spells. Surprisingly, Vera had actually spent a great deal of her own money obtaining new spells, even burning a few of her bridges in order to get them. Suffice it to say, as of late, she had actually taken a great deal of interest in ensuring that Talion was safe. Apparently, she had finally taken to her role as grandmother, even though Talion wasn't her grandchild by birth. After hearing his dedication to magic, something finally sank in. And from that point forward, she stopped thinking of Talion as adopted, and now wanted to protect him, as if he were her grandchild. They continued their joyous revelry for nearly 3 hours. As the food was finally prepared, night had set in, and everybody was about ready to eat their dinner and settle down for the night, as they would most likely have another strenuous day of training coming tomorrow. It was at that point that a black doorway emerged within the room. Walking through in a great deal of hurry and slamming the door behind her was Vera, who seemed to be nearly out of breath, with a look of panic on her face. "Whoa, what's with you?" Salus said. "Did something go wrong?" "You're joking, right? You must be. Something didn't go wrong. Everything went wrong." "Mother?" Melody said, turning back towards Vera. "Calm down. Tell me what's going on." "The worst things. All of the worst things. That's what's going on." "Yes, but what does that mean? Is Talion in danger? What?" Melody said, growing more concerned by the second. "Well, I started looking for my contacts, as usual. The ones that I had with the demon world and demonic entities scattered about, trying to barter and gain the resources and materials, books that you requested," she said, looking over to Salus. "And that's when I first noticed that something was amiss. For whatever reason, all of my demonic contacts seemed to have up and disappeared. I couldn't find any of them. One after another, magical communication blocked. I try to transport to where they are and find empty homes with nothing in them, everything of value taken, in what looks like a great deal of hurry and rush, as if they left in a panic. I spent hours looking for them, going through one contact after the next and getting nowhere." "That doesn't sound right," Salus said. "Why in the hell would they all just be disappearing?" "Oh, they aren't disappearing. They're hiding." "Hiding?" Salus replied. "Hiding from what?" "Well, luckily enough for me, as I reached the end of my contacts list, there was still one individual who hadn't yet disappeared. But I only just managed to catch them. They had almost completely finished packing up. I tried to deal with them, But they seem to be in an absolute hurry to leave, and nothing seemed to want to stop them. I tried to press them for information. According to them, just about all of the demons here in the human world are going into hiding. Because, well, things have gone awry. What do you mean? What could go awry that would cause every demon in the human world to suddenly pack up and hide away? Well, it's actually a series of things. Apparently, all gates in and out of the city of Matara have been locked down. What? Sailor said. Yes, the city of Matara, the one in which Talion's mother and father rule, or are supposed to be ruling. There was no warning, no forecast. Apparently, the Matara military simply confiscated access to all of the gates within the city, sealed them up tight, so to speak, so that no one could pass either way. And word was sent that very soon, elite task forces are to be sent to the Earth. Apparently, they're mobilizing all of the elite units in the demon realm and sending them through. Entire armies. Or at least that was the plan. Wait a second. What do you mean was the plan? Oh, things get worse. Apparently, shortly before these squadrons of high-level soldiers from the demon realm were supposed to head here to Earth, someone of an exceptional amount of power who is still yet unidentified managed to smash their way through one of the gates. They still don't know who he is or why they managed to fight their way through, but in the process, they defeated an elite squadron of soldiers, all mid-level demons with high levels of demonic magic training and combat training, along with the 40 or so low-level soldiers that were also guarding that specific gate. He demolished them all. Whoever it was that broke through was exceptionally powerful. Even getting that much information was a trick, trust me. And my very last contact was in a desperate rush to leave, to disappear. But I pressed everything I had for just any information whatsoever. Why? Why all of these sudden changes? Why is everyone terrified? And that's when I found out that the hits just keep coming. Word on the demon vine has it that whilst Talion's dear mother was running things, she implemented a new system, creating a system of demonic energy detectors, and then scattering them about multiple different realms, places where they thought dangerous individuals might try to travel in order to escape detection. Earth was one of the realms chosen. After pressing him for information, I discovered that a short time ago, one of these detectors picked up a signal here on Earth. No one can say for absolute certain who it is, but the word has it that the demonic energy signal picked up was that of the Lost Prince, a very famous story that's been traveling around regarding the lost son of the Matara royal family. They say he's here on Earth, she said, looking over to Talion. And the Matara royal military is sparing no expense. They were trying to send everybody they possibly could through. That's why they're mobilizing all of their military units and sending them to Earth. Or why they were trying to. Wait a second. What do you mean trying to? As I said, the hits just keep coming. Apparently today they were supposed to mobilize and be sent into the human world, where we reside currently. But Apparently, there was one more break-in. Someone else tore their way through one of the gates. But they didn't just beat up the people guarding it and do away with them. No, they did far worse. Whoever it was that broke through this gate did something. They aren't sure as of what. But whatever it was, completely destabilized all of the gates. Every single gate leading from the human world back into the city of Matara is no longer functional. They've all broken down. No one who has attempted to pass through has returned any word or signal that they're alive. Those that have contacted their contacts on the other side say that no one has come through on their end. Regardless of how they did it, they made the entire network of gateways completely inoperable. So the military squadrons that were supposed to be sent through are stuck in Matara. But the gates that reside within other kingdoms are still functional. And droves of mid-level and high-level demons have begun emerging all over the world. They're coming through in legions. High-level, low-level, and mid-level mercenaries, royal squadrons, anyone and everyone. Everyone moving, taking action, trying to be the first one to find Taleon. All of the demons are going into hiding because they're scared. The people that have come here to find Taleon are not merciful. Anyone that they suspect might have even the slightest bit of information will be detained, tortured, and most likely killed for anything, any scrap of information that they can possibly get. And the last bit of troubling information, my contact received a last notice. Apparently, in the time before the attack on the gates that stopped them from functioning, there was a visit to the Matara kingdom. The sudden arrival of an individual that they referred to as the Black Iron King.
What?
Sailor shouted, jumping out of his seat, hands pressed against the table as he leaned over.
What the hell was he doing in Matara? That's insane. Why in the hell would he be there?
Don't ask me, it's not as if I know. But all of the demons here on Earth, well, they're losing their minds. There's talk of a fourth great demon war, of all of the great kingdoms lashing out with full military power and assault. The demon that I talked to here on Earth seemed to think it was Judgment Day, the end of things, a time when everything would be bathed in demons' blood. So, anybody with half a brain in their head who isn't capable of fending off these odds is hiding, just trying to survive whatever it is that's coming, Vera said as she sat down at the table, placing her hands over her face and breathing a deep breath of complete and utter exhaustion. What the hell are we supposed to do about this? How can we protect Taleon against an army?